us super, super early in the morning. If this isn't love, I don't know what love is. You could have gone to many other sessions. I know there are other great sessions scheduled at this time. We really appreciate you picking ours. This is Day in the Life of an OSD Guru, so if you are here to learn about SQL or something in Azure or something else, you're in the wrong room. I won't say anything if you get up and leave, but this is about Windows 10 deployment. I am Amy Arwood-Mark. I am the Captain of America at 2 Pint Software.
Has to be the best title ever.
I don't do titles, and my boss hasn't given me a title, and while he is watching, I'll be very careful with this next statement. You can call me just about whatever you want as long as your check clears, but I picked Captain of America because he hadn't said anything yet. We live in a really small town in Illinois. Fun fact, there are more people in this room right now than live in our town. So congratulations, it's been a long time since I've seen this many people.
Another thing about internet access in Chicago, also where we lived before in a bigger city, we could barely get like 24 megabits. Now we moved out to the middle of absolutely nowhere, and I get gigabit fiber. Like, yay!
It's really important that farmers are able to connect to the internet.
Yes, yes, yes.
So all right. The farmer.
Yeah. My name is Johan. Amy is obviously my better half. I've been working for TrueSec for a while. I'm a consultant. I also have some people from TrueSec in this room. There's a guy with a camera running around. He's one of us somewhere. He's over there. We'll be happy to answer any questions, whatever, after the session. This is only a 45-minute session, so we will like to keep the questions to the end. Typically, we allow questions during the session, but we're a bit short on time, and we have so much fun stuff to show you guys, so we would just rather get into the content. If you have any questions after, if you don't want to hang around here, contact us. If you're not on Twitter, get on Twitter. Find us. We are quite easy to find. That's a really unique last name. We're about 10 people in the world with that last name, and so far it's only 2 that works with OS deployment. So we're safe. I hope the kids will pick something sane to work with, but that's us.
So let's do a quick poll. Talking about reference images, because I assume that's a good reason why you're here, wanting to kind of get really good at creating reference images or just getting some advice on OS deployment. Who's still making a reference image?
A good few.
That's half. A lot of people. Okay, next question. Are you using a virtual machine or a physical machine? Okay, if you said physical, you have to come up here and sit in timeout. Nobody? Okay, good.
All right.
All right. Shall we continue?
Yes.
Okay. So a little bit about this session, as Johan said. This is a 45-minute session. So we're going to try and give you as much information as possible in a short amount of time. And this is just kind of a little bit of what do I need to do every day? What kind of decisions do I need to make, whether it's for the job that I'm currently doing, the job that I'm looking for, or something that I'm trying to help somebody with in the community. So it's going to be a lot of topics from different angles. So the first thing would be Windows Autopilot. I think at this point you had to have been living under a rock or maybe just starting your IT career if you haven't heard of Windows Autopilot. Who hasn't heard of Autopilot?
A few, yeah.
I won't tell. So what is Windows Autopilot? Well, it's simplification.
The keyboard is not working.
Keyboard doesn't work. Solution to bring new PCs under management. So you get a call, some vice president or whatever is starting. He doesn't like the standard IT laptops that get distributed. He has to have some super shiny, awesome machine. I assume it has 64 gigs of RAM and a Xeon processor and 4 terabytes of storage, right?
Average laptop.
Yeah, that he got from Best Buy, and you have to bring it under management. Or maybe you just get a lot of laptops and desktops at once, and you want to deploy them. Maybe they're in your corporate office, but you want them to check into your Azure AD tenant right away and be under management, or maybe they're out in the field and it'll never come to the office. And rather than try and get a VPN connection back home to try and join it to the domain in one way or another, you do it this way. So you pre-stage your devices either by you or by your OEM.
And most vendors supports these now. So you have the big guys, Dell, HP, Lenovo. They all announced support for Autopilot, where when you buy a machine, you can sign up for their servers, pay $1 million, and off you go. Or 10, I don't know. It typically is a little bit fee to it so far.
There are several MVPs with blog posts on how to do this yourself. I don't know if we've published our post yet or not, but there's plenty of community tips on how to actually do this, and I think you're going to demo something as well. But just know, if you want to test it out, if you want to know what the experience is like before you actually do it, if you haven't done it yet, there are community solutions for it. Or you can watch the mechanics video on it as well.
Yeah.
Where did this slide come from? You did this.
I did this. It's a nice animation. I stole it from my
beautiful.
house, actually. Borrowed.
Like, obviously Microsoft made this. I couldn't do this. Let's get the whole picture first. Okay, now I get it. And go. So the IT admin is going to configure the autopilot profile. You can do this in the store for business. You can do this within Intune. I think Microsoft's preferred way for you to do it is within Intune. However, if you're using third-party MDM, then you have to do it in the store for business. My advice is pick one of the two that work for you. If the store for business is faster for you, which I think right now it actually is faster than Intune, go ahead and use it. Just know that if you call in for support, they're probably going to tell you, are you doing this within Intune or not?
And it's also in Intune where they have most of their investments in terms of new features being added.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. So then there's going to be a sync of a profile once you create that profile. So that's, hey, registration, am I going to skip things? What does the end user see once they connect to the internet and sign in with their credentials? If the hardware vendor does it, they'll upload the device IDs. Otherwise, you have to harvest it yourself once the devices get to you. So that's where it's that pay $1 million. Do you want to do the work yourself, or do you want the OEM vendor to do it for you? There'll still be a sync if the vendor does it, so you don't have to worry about doing anything if you've paid that money to have the vendor do that service for you. The device can then be delivered from the OEM vendor right to the employee, so you don't have to have a depot at your location, which really reduces shipping costs and things like that, which frees you guys up to do other things. I do come from a help desk background, and there was nothing more miserable than having to coordinate shipping laptops back and forth. One time I accidentally shipped my own laptop to an employee, and that's actually why I started putting stickers on my laptop, so that I could tell this was mine. Nobody in their right mind would put this many stickers on their laptop other than me. But it's a really good idea to have the OEM vendor ship it to the employee if they aren't going to be coming in the office. It just simplifies things.
And obviously it's not $1 million. That was a joke for the record. These sessions are being recorded, so I'll probably get scolded. So different vendors right now, they have a different pricing point. What Microsoft is doing is they're trying to convince the vendors to have it to an extremely, either for free or just a very, very low fee for this registration service, down to a few dollars, I've been told. So hopefully we all get there, so we don't have to pay like $50 to get a machine registered because we want 4,000 other services also.
One of the really important things to keep in mind when you go back to your work and when you're starting to decide, am I going to use this in my organization or not, is this doesn't replace OSD, don't worry. OSD isn't going away yet. This is just another option to bring devices under management, for you to be a little bit more modern with how you hand off laptops to employees. More and more employees are working remote. It's been years since I've had to actually commute for work. I'm sure a lot of you hate me for that, and I'm sorry. But just know more and more employees are going remote, so this is just another option to quickly get a device to an end user. I think we said enough about it. Prerequisites. Has to be registered to your organization, either by you or the OEM vendor. The bare minimum is Windows 10 1703, so if you're working with an OEM vendor that wants to ship you 800 laptops that have Windows 10 1511 on them, I would cancel that order.
I actually had a customer coming up I was in the deployment booth yesterday asking questions. They ordered a bunch of machines. They came with Windows 10 1511. I was like, really? It's not even supported anymore. Is that a good idea? No.
No. If you want to use the newer features, then it has to be 1803. But the bare minimum is 1703. So if you're like, hey, we're not quite up to the latest version of Windows yet, we're still on an older supported version, can we use this? Yeah, as long as you're on 1703. You have to have access to the internet.
Shocker.
Also, for demos to work, you have to have access to the internet. That's just because as soon as it comes online in Ubi, it's going to check in and see, do I belong to anybody? Which is really ideal, right? You want it to know as soon as it gets that connection where it should look for registration information. Azure AD Premium, P1 or P2.
Also known as Azure AD Shiny.
And Shiny.
Yeah.
And users have to be allowed to join devices into Azure AD. And that's stuff that you configure within Intune itself. This isn't something additional that you have to do anywhere else. So if you're already using Intune for device management, you likely already have this stuff set up. So you have to use Intune or another third-party vendor to do this. There are other third-party vendors that support this. Intune is preferred. You'll have to set up an enrollment status page.
Or you can.
You can. I think you should, because end users are going to want to know what's going on. Right now, it's not expanded by default, the show details, so the end users can expand show details to see what's going on in each of these steps. That'll eliminate help desk calls. If something's taking a long time and no one can figure out where it's at, well, if you have the enrollment status page set up, then you guys have a pretty good idea. And this is one of those features that requires 1803. And then I've compiled a short list of sessions where you'll hear about autopilot. If you were in the pre-day, then you heard a lot, and then you'll get a condensed version within these 2 sessions. Otherwise, make sure that you either add these to your schedules. I'm not sure when they're happening, but you can click on these links. You can take pictures of the slide. The slide will be available after the session as well. So make sure that you check it out when they post it on Channel 9 or YouTube, or wherever it is that they're posting the sessions this year. And then I have some resources for Windows Autopilot as well. Also, you can come talk to us. You can talk to Michael Niehaus. You can talk to Mirko, another MVP who's doing a ton of theater sessions, or actually 1 theater session on Autopilot. And I think he has a couple other sessions where I'm sure he'll touch on it as well. Are you doing an Autopilot demo?
No.
Okay, that's it. No demo, sorry.
We have 45 minutes.
Whoa. Okay. So we all agree, right? Deploying a new version of Windows is a lot of work. Who doesn't agree? No one. Okay, good. You can stay. It is. It's a lot of work. It's challenges on coordinating with end users who don't like change. It's challenge on coordinating with testing. It's a challenge on getting everything rolled out and meeting your deadlines. And then it's a little bit of a challenge for life to go back to normal. So we have the IT process changes, application testing. This is where you kind of learn to have those social skills where maybe IT pros kind of got the bad rap that we can't talk to people. We can, and we do. So we coordinate application testing with the business unit leaders. It's really important to get buy-in from unit leaders because they're going to be the ones that will tell the employees who are typically really hard to work with, hey, you should probably coordinate with so-and-so from IT to make sure this application works. If you don't want to do it on your own computer, then do it on a test computer. But it's really important to get buy-in because that simplifies a little bit of your challenges. You have to do driver testing. This is something that you do on your own with the models that you're planning on deploying in your migration.
I can add something to the application testing. When you test apps, obviously you don't test them all because typically if an app works in one version of Windows 10, it most likely works for the next one. Same goes for Windows 7 to Windows 10. But if you're planning on enabling configuring security features in Windows 10 like Credential Guard, make sure you test your applications with Credential Guard also. I had one customer back in Europe that did the testing without Credential Guard, and then the security group enabled it at deployment, and they had applications that they tested and said good to go. One of their most important business line of business applications, it simply didn't work with Security Guard or Credential Guard enabled. So make sure you test with the right settings that you plan on implement also, at least for the most critical apps.
Yeah, and how do you get that inventory? Well, we're all using software inventory and config manager, and we're all using desktop analytics, are we not?
By the way, there's actually a session after this session in this room that will tell you everything you need to know about desktop analytics too.
So stay.
Yeah, don't leave. Also play coffee break.
Yes, coffee is very important. Then we have our deployment scenario. So am I going to use traditional methods or am I going to use modern methods? And that's a decision that I can't make for you. I'm happy to talk to you about it though. You have to think about device management policies. Again, am I going traditional? Am I going modern? Am I mixing the two with co-management? We'll touch on that a little bit today as well. And then thinking about reducing the network impact. Again, unless you're just starting your career or you're just starting working with OS deployment, you need to know the network impact of Windows 10 and what that means for your organization. And it's not just deploying content, it's those first updates the first time an end user logs in. So you have to start thinking about that too, and we'll cover that in a little bit. And then keeping Windows up to date. You're not just going to deploy the operating system and not apply any security fixes or bug/feature fixes. You're going to want to keep it up to date. So, IT process changes, application testing. You're going to use desktop analytics. Again, as Johan said, there's a session in here afterwards on desktop analytics. You might also be familiar with upgrade analytics, which again is a cloud service where you enable telemetry and then you allow Microsoft to take a little bit of inventory of what's deployed in your organization and compare that with what other organizations are using. Have they been successfully migrated to Windows 10? What has the ISV said about these applications? What versions are promised to work in Windows 10? What versions are deprecated? You get a lot of information if you enable analytics in your organization. If you don't want to enable analytics, then you'll have to keep your testing or your source of truth within your software inventory and config manager and do that that validation yourself. You have a demo for that?
Next one.
Okay. Driver testing. How many people validate drivers for each new version of Windows 10?
Thing is, you have to.
Yeah.
Because the vendors are releasing now Windows 10 version-specific drivers. And sometimes vendors also drop support for a given version. So you had support for 1709, but you don't have the support for 1803. So we have seen scenarios where we actually had to remove a vendor driver to get it to work, that device, with a later version of Windows 10. Because what Microsoft is doing typically, when the vendor drops support for a device that previously had a support for Windows 10, Microsoft steps in and get drivers for those models. Not every single hardware known to man, but still a lot of models actually becomes under support by the inbox drivers rather than the vendor drivers, which is very nice.
Yeah, and this is a really good opportunity to stop and talk about which servicing channel you're picking. And this is something where I just got burned a little bit with a laptop that I ordered because I deployed server to it, which is on long-term servicing channel, similar to Windows 10 long-term servicing channel. If you deploy a new laptop in your organization and you want to use long-term servicing channel, you have to wait until the next update of it to have support for those drivers. Don't expect a laptop that's certified to work for 1703 or 1803 to work with a brand new laptop because that driver support isn't there yet.
Yes, specifically the CPU and chipset support takes a long time for the versions you should not be using in terms of a client. Stay away from LTSC, use the normal working versions, and you'll be good.
Yeah. So we talked about certifying hardware, just making sure that we know that drivers work. Are we going to be okay with using inbox drivers if there's no driver available? That's something that you have to test. So if you're in like an engineering or architecture firm, something like that, where a graphics driver really matters, you want to make sure that you've certified that hardware. Reduce the number of models. What's the record number of models that you've seen in an organization?
I personally worked with a company that had 296 models. I also worked with a company that had 2. The number that had 2 had 5 times the client, and the 5 times the number of clients as the one that had almost 300.
Yep.
So it's all about policies. And obviously, it's kind of easier to test 2 models rather than like 300. So, yeah.
Yeah. Per model family packs, we already talked about that. So make sure that if you're deploying a Dell Latitude, that you're not trying to deploy that to a Lenovo ThinkPad. Not going to work.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, finally a demo.
Yes. Yay. So we have been waiting. All right. So we mentioned, let's see here, magic, switch, scalar. There we go. So in your sequences that you use to do your regular deployments, this is not the sequence, that's SQL, it's close. Starting to do Windows 10 stuff, you have to put in not only the app testing as part of your deployment process, but also adding in drivers. And that even goes when you do service upgrades. And there are quite many different ways of doing drivers these days, but what we have switched to recently is starting to use new features in Config Manager to allow us to dynamically pick a driver package. So I have Maurice Daly and Nikolai working for us. They have written a modern driver management solution, which is basically two things. One, it's a little PowerShell script, only about 15,000 lines of code. It's a 1 meg script. It is a GUI that allows you to download drivers and create packages in Config Manager automatically. You can even schedule it if you want to. So again, it's a script, but it's a script with the GUI. And then there is one single script in the sequence, a script that figures out, all right, what driver package to actually use and download it automatically to the system. So what I have in my environment here in terms of drivers, I simply have a bunch of normal packages. But they contain drivers. So it's a driver package, but it's not a driver package, it's a legacy package with drivers in it. Because then I don't have to import the drivers. I don't have to bloat the database. It doesn't have to take 10 minutes to import a model. It creates itself in 2 seconds, done. And then I use dynamic logic to deploy them or assign them during deployment. So anything I need to do when I need to support a new model is I either create the package manually or I use Maurice or Nikolai's script to create the package. That's it. I don't have to modify the sequence with any condition, anything like that. So I've seen a lot of change and focus into that one. One drawback with that method is that it currently doesn't support offline media. And it's not Maurice's fault because it's the download package content action in Config Manager that doesn't support it. So if you guys are using offline media to drive deployments, you need to have 2 sequences. And that second sequence would be like a very traditional sequence where you add in, see if I have an example here. Typically keep them around. Yeah. When you start to assign like 1 package for each action, you have a condition on that action, and you just do an X copy so the drivers are local at the deployment time. So those are your options there. Other than that, things I didn't expect having to do so much when I started to do Windows 10 migrations 10 years ago was BIOS configurations. But you have to. Because a lot of the shinier security features, for example, in Windows 10 requires that you are on UEFI. And if you come from a Windows 7 world, I guarantee you your machines are not on UEFI because it was a royal pain to deploy Windows 7 to a UEFI configured machine. So they are in legacy mode, and now you need to switch them. And you have 2 options. Either you run around really, really fast to every single computer, go into BIOS, and change the things, which is fun the first 2,000 computers. Or you put that into automation. So you get the vendor tools, you create packages, you create scripts, so you make sure to assign that as part of your deployment process. So either you do it as a single sequence that just go in and do the configuration, but you typically add this, for example, to your bare metal deployment sequences. So when you F12 and deploy a machine, it makes sure it's configured for what it's supposed to be. And at the very least, UEFI and Secure Boot, but for example, you probably want to upgrade TPM from 1.2 to 2.0. Again, you cannot run Windows 7 with 2.0, so you're on 1.2 for those. So you have to change. Stuff like that. Other things I didn't expect either was how often we needed to do BIOS updates. Older machines may refuse a Windows 10 installation because it has a really, really old BIOS. And the fix is very simple. Make sure to update the BIOS. So we simply add that to our sequences. Again, a script that figures out, all right, what package do I need, and a script to actually run the update of the BIOS. And again, I'm using Maurice and Nikolai's tool to do that. It looks something like this. This is an older version I have here, but it works. Takes a little bit time to load this 15K line PowerShell script, but it's quite easy. You simply pick what you want to use. You can create driver packages, BIOS update packages, or both. So if you pick both, you simply select the models, you start downloading import, and these models will now show up with drivers and BIOS update packages in the console. And again, you have a single script that will sign it during deployment. So I'm just adding those scripts to my regular sequences. So I might have one in this. Yeah. It's in the post-install phase. Just be sure the machine installs or prepares the machine for reboot. So when it reboots, it's obviously with the new BIOS version. And then it's actually, because up to here, it's only Windows PE. After reboot, it's full Windows. So when it finally reaches full Windows, the BIOS is already updated. So that's where you want to be. So you have a single process that takes care of not only configurations, but also BIOS updates, and then you're good to go. And yes, you can have these sequences if you send me an email. How about that? Come back to that a little bit later. How can hard can be for number 5? Here we go. Yes.
Okay, and then we have resources for desktop and Windows Analytics and upgrade readiness, which you will get, and sessions where you'll hear about apps, analytics, and planning. And again, another reminder, there is a session in this room right after this. Windows 10 deployment, well, we have the same deployment scenarios and a new one, in-place upgrade. You pick. Johan will talk about it in just a minute. Close but not quite OSD is provisioning packages. Is anyone using provisioning packages? Not very many. I expected that.
Can you go back a slide for a second? So these 4 deployment scenarios shouldn't be new to you at all. What is the common thing for the 3 first one? The 3 first scenarios, new computer, refresh, and replace. What do they have in common typically? Great question. The first one does the disk format, absolutely, but they all typically use a reference image. Or at least you can use a reference image with, say, Office in it, or a few runtimes in it. The in-place upgrade scenario, you cannot. So now when you start to create the reference images, if you all use them, it has to be different. So if I go over to my demo laptop real quick, I put together a blog post. If you search for servicing, that keyword servicing on my blog, which is deployment research, I put together a summary about how to deal with Windows 10 reference images in a Windows 10 world, because this is quite interesting. You now have a choice, either to continue to use reference images for the first 3 scenarios, and the main purpose would be to save time at deployment. That's the only thing. Because you can technically, if you have all the time in the world to do a deployment, you can just use the Microsoft one and deploy that is. Then you have the in-place upgrades. Even though build and capture sysprepping such image is supposed to work, it does not. It doesn't work. So you have to use the Microsoft images that you download from Volume License Site or MSDN. So what's the difference between the 2? The one on MSDN is always updated with the latest binaries, including the latest compatibility databases. We see a lot of less failure for feature updates when we use that media versus an older media. So now the community actually came together. For those who only have access to Volume License Site, there is a guy called Adam and a guy with Wells Fargo that figured out how to take any media and make sure the binaries are updated also for setup, not just the patch. Because we can always mount the WIM file, apply a CU, and be good with it, but that update does not update the setup files that are needed for the in-place upgrade. So they figured out PowerShell scripts that you can simply run, and it will inject all those binaries, and now you have a better image that you can use for all your feature updates. So I highly recommend that, because that will reduce the number of issues that you have in your feature update process, and funny enough, it will go faster. Because surprisingly enough, down the road, Microsoft's constantly tweaking setup times. You've probably seen already that an 18.03 deployment is actually quite a bit faster than 17.9 deployment. And an 18.03 feature update with the latest CU is faster than a feature update with the original 1803 ISO. So you can do some cool things to make sure your feature updates are a little bit more happy. Yes.
We have some resources available for you as well. Everything that Microsoft recommends for Windows 10 deployment is all condensed into one guide now. Johan and I helped a little bit on creating those guides. So if you go down to the modern desktop booth in the expo hall, there will be experts there to talk to you about this as well. We have a lot of booth duty there too, if you want to have some conversations there as well.
Yeah, I'll be there from noon to 2 and from 4 to 6 today, so you'll find me down there if you have any more questions.
And we have 2 slides worth of sessions that you'll hear about Windows 10 deployment at Ignite. So this one and this one. So make sure that you download this deck so you can know about those.
You'll have a busy week.
Yeah, very busy week. And by the way, any link that Johan shows on his laptop as well, we're including at the end of the deck for you, so you don't have to worry about missing something. Device management policies, are you going to, well, before we go there, are you going to use legacy AD? Are you going to go modern and use Azure AD? Are you going to go crazy and use some sort of unheard of device management solution? If you're doing legacy, then you want to make sure that you're updating your OU structures, meaning that you're creating a new OU for each new version of Windows 10, because there are new ADMX templates that ship with each new version of Windows 10, so you want to make sure that there's nothing conflicting. Johan, you have a fun story about some changes between Windows 10 versions where the devices stayed in an OU that was applying legacy policy, and something not so shiny happened, huh?
Yeah, so we had a customer doing a larger, big Windows 10 pilot, and they put all the new Windows 10 boxes in the same OU as they were applying several hundred Windows 7 policies. And some of those Windows 7 policies, among them was App Locker, restricting access to certain apps. Basically, they had a list of apps they had approved. Everything else was blocked. So in Windows 10, the start menu is an app, settings is an app, the search is an app. So they couldn't use it at all. They couldn't even open the start menu. And they also blocked PowerShell, so the only thing we had to be able to troubleshoot this was a command prompt. So it took a while to figure out why the start menu didn't work when the only window you had was the command prompt to work with. But finally we figured out it was actually incompatible Windows 7 policies that was breaking these Windows 10 boxes. And now we had a bunch of machines with broken app locker policies on them, so now we needed to figure out, okay, how to clean that one out. Turned out it was just a folder you can go in a system and just yank the content and they were gone. But it was one of those frustrations. So my main recommendation here is do an overhaul of group policies. And the reason when you tell your manager why you have to do this, 2. 1, you probably have never done it, because you have been using group policies. I've seen a lot of organizations, they started with policies back in 2000, and they're just adding more and more and more as years go by. And a lot of the policies organizations are using today are lockdown policies from a time where a user were a local admin and the policies were there to prevent them from shooting themselves in the foot doing something stupid. Now, in Windows 10, we see less and less admins out there, more and more standard users. So most of these lockdown policies, they're simply not applicable anymore. And most times they're not needed because, you might not believe me, but the maturity of and Windows skills out there by end users is actually been ramping up pretty high. Guess why? Because they're using it at home already, Windows 10. Some 700 million people are using it at home. It's a lot of folks. So they know more, and they are used to being able to do things. How many of you lock down phones? You can only run the mail app in the phone. Not many people do, and they expect the same thing for computers. But anyway, overhaul is good.
Yeah, if you're wanting to start to go to modern device management, if you haven't already heard of it, look at the MDM migration analysis tool. You can get it from GitHub. It's a PowerShell script that'll run. You run it against a computer that's domain joined. It'll look at all of the policies that have been applied to that computer. It'll say, hey, there's a path to this in Intune. There is an ADMX-backed policy within Intune. So you can continue to control the device this way within Intune, or this isn't compatible anymore. Stop using old ways to manage a device. Microsoft is adding more and more ADMX-backed policies to Intune. You can configure some yourself as well. So just start to pay attention to this as you make this shift, because I think eventually more and more organizations are going to be wanting to do this modern as more and more devices roam and they never check into the corporate network. MDM policies, again, another way to manage devices. So rather than applying group policy, you're applying policy from Intune. You can use co-management with Config Manager as well, so that Config Manager and Intune can kind of share workloads and decide who's the authority on managing certain device policies, such as antivirus.
And of course,
third party.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So the biggest thing on group policy, as I mentioned, do the overhaul. If possible, when you do Windows 10 pilots, put your Windows 10 boxes in a separate OU and link only the absolutely needed policies to that OU. Don't take all 300 that you already have for Windows 7. Just take the one you actually need, like certificates and stuff like that, and try to figure out, all right, what is absolutely minimum amount of policies that we need for Windows 10. But also make sure that you update the ADMX templates for the Windows 10 version that you plan on support. So download the ADMX templates on the server or your domain controllers, go to the Windows folder wherever you have sysvol, and in the domain policies folder, you create this policy definitions folder, and you put the policies in there so you have a central repository of updated policies, so every AD admin is actually working with the same set. Some exceptions apply when you may not need to do that, but this is a sort of typical configuration. Because if you don't do this, you won't have access to the shiny new settings that are applying. For example, there are a lot of sessions this week around the new network features in Windows 10, like delivery optimization and whatnot, and those will not be able unless you actually have those policies enabled. If you can't separate by OU, and I know a lot of organizations who cannot because politics, so then at least start to play around with naming. You can do naming anyway. Start to name the policies something clever, like Windows 10 for Windows 10 policies, etc., and Windows 7 for Windows 7 ones. Let me get zoom it running. There we go. So decent naming convention somehow. And then start to play around with filters. So you have WMI filters, you've probably seen this, but very easily you can create filters that allow you to apply a specific policy for a specific version of Windows. So this is a WMI filter that only applies for Windows 10 boxes, and obviously I will have to pick a policy and I will configure it to use that filter. So if you do preferences, there are more configuration items there, but WMI filter at least. And there is absolutely no harm having a few policies with WMI filters. Back in the Windows 2000 days, people were scared of it because they are executed at client side, but that was for hardware 18 years ago. Now the machine won't even flinch because it had to evaluate 10 WMI queries. It's like no big deal at all.
I may or may not know this from experience, but make sure that you're not using a WMI filter to apply Windows 10 policies to a Windows 7 box.
I should remember that. Yeah. So templates, WMI filters, naming. Yes. Next.
Yep. So then I just have some resources for you. Again, you can download this deck, and then sessions about managing and securing Windows 10 to fill the rest of your week. Now the big one, reducing network impact. You can use peer cache, you can use branch cache, you can use delivery optimization, you can use bits, you can use leadbat.
And you can combine them all.
And you can combine them all. What we really want is something that can cache everything all together at once. The end.
Demo, yes, awesome. So bottom line, Windows 10 talks a lot on the network compared to Windows 7, like very much more. And there are tons of technologies available from Microsoft and also third-party vendors to help you reduce that impact. So if you go to my post, we do have a port also, but you won't find any information there. If you search for the keyword reducing, I put together a guide, reducing network impact, one guide to rule them all. There's a ring bearer in it also, Frodo. But anyway, I listed every single technology that is available, and I have step-by-step guides on the gotchas, how you implement it, how to work with it, and how you set it up in environments. And when you start to learn these technologies, this is kind of new to Microsoft. Most of these technologies, well, not branch cache has been around forever, but the other technologies are somewhat new, so they are a little bit of overlap, and it takes some time to learn how these work and how they work in your environment. I actually had a question from a customer yesterday down in the booth and said, hey, we are using one of the third-party vendors. Can we just go over and use only Microsoft technologies? And the answer is, it's going to be, it depends. And the real question I recommend customers to ask themselves, the built-in stuff, as it is right now, is it good enough? Because sometimes good enough is indeed good enough. Because guess what? The third-party vendors that typically want a few dollars in return for their software, but this stuff you get free within the box. So I recommend to start to evaluate them together. And the best way to evaluate that stuff is get a lab going. In this environment here, I have a laptop with a few VMs, but I have 6 different routers, virtual routers, connecting up to 5 different networks together. And some of them I have limiters enabled. I have packet loss enabled. I have certain percentage of packets that will actually drop on each. I simulate production networks, but I do it in a lab environment. And I use this to learn how these technologies work, because then I can start to do this in production later and see how it works. So if you haven't done it before, if you search for the keyword router, I have a ton of posts on how to set up virtual routers to start and play around a lot with those technologies. So everything from Windows-based to Linux-based to whatever. You can do advanced things. So that's my high recommendation on that. Read the post and find out if it works for you. All right.
There's only one session this year on reducing network impact, and that's delivered by
Narkis
and Narkis.
Yes.
So make sure you attend that one. Absolutely imperative that you go to that session. It's on Thursday. And then we added some sessions from Ignite last year where they started introducing LEDBAT, and I think there's a delivery optimization session as well in your blog post. Keeping Windows 10 up to date, that's super fun, isn't it? So you have quality updates, which are your standard updates. You can use Express files. We have feature updates. You can use servicing plan, task sequences. Go ahead.
Demo, yes, awesome. So we've started to use a different approach recently when we do feature updates that we found out working very, very well. We have 2 sequences that we use for deployment. We have one sequence that we use for 2 things, making sure the machine is ready for upgrade. So it does a ton of checks, it does a ton of cleanups, and it stages all the necessary files on the drive. The image, the drivers, the apps, whatever that is needed for the process, it's being staged on the drive. We pushed it out first. It runs in the background, the user doesn't see it, but depending on the outcome of this sequence, we automatically put machines into a different collection. So we have another collection structure where I have machines ready for upgrade. And if you look at the query of that collection, it's a dynamic query. It looks messy. I'm sorry, it's not. It's basically looking for, did that sequence complete happily? The first sequence. Did it work? Is the machine ready? Does it have enough disk space? Have you removed all stuff that was needed to remove? Does it have the drivers? Does it have the image? Is it cleaned up? And then we deploy the upgrade to them. So we have a 2-step approach now. And it's been working very, very well for us. If you go to garytown.com, Gary Block's website, you actually find those sequences available for download. Both the one that does the testing and the one that actually does the deployment. And they run this in production for a fairly large environment, their own, 400,000 clients. They have done several 10,000 machines in a week. It's pretty well tested.
Yeah, and another site worth mentioning is Brian Dam's blog. He's done a lot of work on simplifying servicing. If you haven't heard of him, please check out his blog. Can you pull up his blog really quick.
Which one?
Damn good admin. Nope.
Close enough.
Nope. Something like that, yeah.
All right, yeah.
Because his last name is Sam. That's why.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right, yes.
So sessions on Windows 10 and Office 365 servicing, because obviously you should be moving your versions of Windows and Office together. There you go.
We have a ton of resources available on this site, deploymentartist.com, and also a shameless plug, but we launched a online training platform recently for OSD stuff. So if you go to that one, you will find some shiny sessions and trainings from various MVPs around the globe, focusing on Windows 10 and config manager stuff.
So with that, we want to thank you very much for attending our session. Please make sure to fill in session evaluations. Please be kind on your evaluations, and constructive feedback is always welcome.
Thank you, guys.